Good afternoon, Chair Kelly, members of the board. Basin conditions have changed significantly since last month's board meeting. It's now been several weeks since most of the basin has received any meaningful river inflow from rain events, and conditions are currently very dry. Today, Colorado is sending about 40 CFS of native Rio Grande water over the state line at the Rio Grande at Labatos gauge, which is down from over 200 CFS over a month ago. Native Rio Grande water refers to water that originates within the Rio Grande Basin and reaches the river through natural processes such as snowmelt, rainfall runoff, or tributary inflows. This water is subject to the rules of the Rio Grande Compact. On the Rio Chama, the La Puente gauge, which measures native Rio Grande river flows upstream of all the reservoirs on the Chama, is recording just 25 CFS today, and that's not nearly enough water to meet the needs of the users on the Rio Chama itself. Moving down to the Odawi gauge, which is located on the Rio Grande downstream of where the Rio Chama falls into the Rio Grande. The Odawi gauge measures both native Rio Grande water and San Juan Chama water. San Juan Chama water is imported from the San Juan Basin through a Bureau of Reclamation Trans-Basin Diversion project and is not subject to the rules of the Rio Grande Compact. The Odawi gauge was measuring about 360 CFS this morning. Approximately 60 of that was San Juan Chama water that's being released for municipal use and environmental releases. And another 50 CFS of that is releases from stored prior and paramount water to meet the needs of the 6 Middle Rio Grande pueblos and their priority lands. So the basin, if you take out all that storage water that's being released right now, the basin's producing about 240 CFS of native Rio Grande water at the Odawi index gauge. And those inflows continue to slowly decline. And for context, if we were releasing water to meet the needs of Middle Valley farmers and their crops, we'd be releasing we would want 750 or 800 CFS there to meet the demand in the Middle Valley. So MRGCD's only available storage water in 2025 was San Juan Chama water due to Rio Grande Compact restrictions on storing native Rio Grande water. This year, MRGCD has received 23% of a full San Juan Chama allocation to date. We are expecting another one on the 15th of July, but it won't be really enough for us to release. So that combined with a small carryover from a late 2024 allocation provided a total of approximately 6,500 acre feet of San Juan Chama water to release. MRGC began releasing that San Juan Chama water from storage on June 16th, and we had released all the water we were going to release to augment irrigation supplies by July 6th. So since July 6th, MRGCD has been operating as a run-of-the-river system. A byproduct of these abnormally dry conditions, river channel drying in the Albuquerque Reach was officially observed last night. As of this morning, there was about a mile of dry riverbed. There's a picture up there, downstream of the Rio Bravo Bridge. And so this picture is looking south on Rio Bravo. If we do not see inflows to the river in the Albuquerque and Cochiti reaches, the length of that drying is expected to grow as river flows continue to decline. MRGC is working with its water management partners to strategize how to best use the limited resources available to mitigate the environmental impacts of this river channel drying. However, there are not many tools in our toolbox right now. And this is the only second time since the 1980s that the Rio Grande has dried in the Albuquerque Reach. The last time that happened was in 2022. Looking at the forecast, temperatures should ease slightly this week. This should be a little cooler. And there are promising chances for pretty widespread rain events. So maybe we can slow down some of that river channel drying if we see some inflows. The seasonal outlook through September predicts that we'll most likely see above average temperatures in the Middle Rio Grande. And also we have equal chances for above or below average precipitation through September. If rain bolsters water supply, MRGCD will divert and deliver this water to users when and where we are able. Farmers should expect extended periods between irrigation deliveries, and those north of Isleta Pueblo we are in prior and paramount operations, so irrigators north of Isleta Pueblo are currently curtailed. I do recognize how difficult these conditions are for our farming community and want to express my sincere sympathy for all of those who are facing hardships due to the limited water availability. Now, I do know that I said most of the areas in the Middle Valley haven't experienced rain inflows, but we did observe some rain inflow into our Socorro division last night. And these inflows showed up in the river downstream of our Santa Casia diversion. So we weren't able to divert this water, but it did show up in the river and will contribute a little bit to our Rio Grande compact deliveries. Julian Avalos sent me a video of the of a Socorro flood control facility of what was in the water from that rain event. So I thought I'd share the video with you. It's pretty cool. This is near Escondida. It's on the west side of the river, and I think those are the train tracks there. So pretty significant rain inflow. But I think it just illustrates that it's important. It matters where it rains, right? This inflow goes directly into the river downstream of our diversion. So we're not really able to take advantage of this event.
That's the Corps of Engineers channel down there? The
Yeah.
concrete channel that goes on. Wow. Did somebody have a gauge on that?
I don't believe so, but I'll look into it. But you can see it hit it peaked at about 1,000 CFS at some of the downstream gauges, so you can see it kind of go down through the river. It attenuates a little, and that's all I have today. So with that, I'll encourage everyone to continue praying for rain.